Why back to work legislation, and why did it take this many days to send in your top mediator and to be able to assess the situation?
Well, we like to call it back to learning legislation. And what has happened here is that we have a great labor relations system in Ontario. Over 2,000 collective agreements are done every year without any work stoppage. We need to give time to the collective bargaining process to allow the parties to work out and resolve their differences. It was unfortunate that this time that was not to happen. There is a clear deadlock, and we've been assisting all along with our mediation team. Now, Reg Pearson, who is the head of our dispute resolution services, came in the last number of days, but all along he's been apprised, and so has the rest of our mediation team. So we work closely with the parties. As I said, it was unfortunate in this case that they were not able to come to a mutual agreement, and we've had to step in. It's our responsibility as legislators and the government to ensure that students can finish their scholastic year.
Now, about that deadlock, the union obviously believes that it's not a deadlock because they're continuing to put a proposal on the table. And I know that the bill allows for bargaining to continue even while the legislation is in the process of being passed. But I mean, what's the incentive of continuing to bargain that the union is asking the parties, the premier to ask the parties to do? What's the incentive for the parties to continue to bargain when the university knows that there's back to work legislation anyways?
Well, first off, I believe that parties are always looking to find a mutual agreement and build goodwill, and that's where the incentive would be to build goodwill, to find some items that they can agree upon, and be able to move forward. Right now, though, we have to ensure that 45,000 plus students get back into the classroom, continue with their learning, and get the university up and running.
I just spoke to Sid Ryan. He said that once the legislation is passed, they're going to decide whether to challenge it in court. If it were to be challenged in court, how do you think it would fare? And do we still go back to class on immediately pending the court date, or do we have to wait until that gets ironed out?
We believe that parties will understand the importance of getting the 45,000 plus students back in the classroom, getting through this legislation. The parties can continue to negotiate and bargain even once the mediator arbitrator has been appointed. So I believe that people will take a step back, look at the importance of getting those 45,000 students back in the classroom, and we can get on with normal operations.
So regardless, we're going to be going back on Monday, regardless of court and legal shenanigans.
Yeah, I'm not going to speculate on what can happen from CUPE Ontario and Sid Ryan, but what I can say is that we will do everything we can as a government to get the students back into the classroom.
I just have two more questions. In the bill, there's a lot of provisions in there and things that kind of might be viewed as pro-university. The arbitrator mediator, obviously, as you know, needs to account for the economy compared to other offers. The employer's ability to pay. I mean, what is? Do you think that they're just going to automatically go and side with the university, and that's going to upset the union, or how do you see that?
Well, the criteria that has been built in to the legislation is pretty consistent with criteria that has been built in with other type of agreements or other type of contracts that arbitrators have been given. They will also look at similar jobs at other universities and what their benefits are and how they're being paid, etc.
And the York union has one of the best contracts in the country. So that means that they're not going to get very much out of this?
Well, that will be up to the arbitrator that can be chosen between the two parties. So the parties will have, once the legislation receives royal assent, the parties will have 5 days to agree upon a mutual arbitrator. If that doesn't happen, my office will appoint an arbitrator. And these people are very experienced, very fair, and they will go in to work on behalf of the greater interest of the public.
I just have one more question for you. After more than 80 days on strike, a few more days to come, I mean, you're not going to see Harvard out for 80 days. Is York University a second-rate university? What do you think this does to the reputation?
I think York University is an excellent institution, and it provides a great education to all the students that go there. It will continue to do so. I think it has some things that it needs to repair with its labor relations. But what we want to ensure is that the students get back in the classroom. I know the teachers, what they love to do is teach. Once they get back into the class, allow this process to work out, be it with their negotiations or through arbitration, and we can get on with getting the school year done.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time.